This is what I was hammering on at the beginning of the video. What am I going to do with this? Well, I wasn't just showing you that I can bend a piece of metal. We're going to do something really different this week. So this is going to be a fantasy knife for a young lady named Bailee in Ocala, Florida, who has asked me to make this for her. So on this knife, we may not follow the rules that we would when we're making a knife for everyday use, just so you guys know that. I'm doing this for fun. So we're gonna have this handle is gonna be unique. And I got this beautiful piece of black walnut here. That might be the most prettiest black walnut I've ever seen. So we're gonna use that for the handle. I've got a little cross guard already the right length that I'm gonna maybe dress up, make it a little bit pretty. There's gonna be some jewels put into the handle. And I've got these in this little container here. And that is going to be my template for the blade and my template for the handle. So we're gonna have fun, do something a little different, something we don't do too often. Something I'm actually not really into, but I was talked into doing this, and I think it'll be fun. So I put this guide on here, and that's so I can take a file and file these shoulders of this knife down square. That way when I put the finger guard on, it's gonna be perfectly square against it. So that's really important to do, guys. You'll have a gap there. It'll look crappy. Your quality won't look good. So we're gonna square this off. We're gonna even take a little bit off the sides here to make that a little thinner so that you don't see any gaps when we put this finger guard on there. So I got this in the mill. You can see the knife there. I'm gonna just take a couple thousandths off of this tang on both sides. I'm drilling the holes in the cross guard. I want to show you a change I made going forward with this. So I originally had a steel cross guard for this, and it was a little bit bigger than the tang by a few thousandths, and I could see a pretty good gap in it. So what I did was, I still don't have an end mill that would be the right size to make that. So I still used the same end mill, but I did it on a piece of brass. Because with brass, if I have a little bit of a gap in here, and a trick to do to cover up for that is to peen this, and it will close that gap a little bit when you peen all around it, and just peen the whole thing so it looks like you've done it all. And then that way it looks normal, but it closes that gap up a little bit. So now I got the handle kind of cut out. You saw that. I got a little hole in it. I didn't film drilling the hole. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this with epoxy. Then I am going to put some Vaseline on this, and I am going to stick it in there, get it positioned just like I want it, let it sit overnight and dry. Tomorrow I will pull it out, and it will leave that epoxy in there shaped just right to hold this square. And then I will drill holes through this so that the next time I put it together, I can put pins in it and it will stay together. So I got some epoxy in here. Again, this is what I use, is G-Flex from West Systems. It's the best stuff I've found. There may be better out there, but this is what I use. Try to keep that epoxy from setting up on the front of this. Put a little Vaseline on there. And then we're going to cover all of this with Vaseline. This way we don't get anything really stuck to that brass. We still want to get it nice and shaped and all pretty. We don't want to hurt it though. And we're just going to cover that stem really good. Make sure it's nice and filled. So I'm going to stick it on here. All right, we're going to let that sit overnight. Get nice and bonded. They'll get to know each other really good in there. The Vaseline and the epoxy, they'll probably start a conversation. The steel, they don't say too much. All right, this has been sitting overnight. We're going to take it apart and see if my little theory works, if I can pull this out of there. And yes, I can pull it out. I can knock the camera over as well. Idiot. So I'm up to the point where I'm going to heat treat this. This is AEB-L stainless. It's a good knife still. There's no doubt. I like using it. Is it the best? No, but it's a good steel. It's economical and it will hold a decent edge and it's easy to sharpen. So when you do AEB-L, you don't quench it in oil because it's a stainless knife. Now, I hear you probably can do it in oil in some situations, but the preferred way is to do it what they call air quench, which is between two aluminum plates. And that's what we'll be doing with this. So we're gonna put this in the kiln, let it get up to quenching temperature for AEB-L, which is around 1850. And then we'll take it out, we'll put it in the aluminum quenching plates, and then we'll put it in the toaster oven and draw that temperature back a little bit, anneal it just a little bit, soften it up, but still try to be around 59 Rockwell hardness. Okay, so we heat treated this last night, got it tempered nicely and everything. I just checked the hardness on it. It's 60 Rockwell hardness, which is pretty good for AEB-L. It's actually very good. So I'm gonna scribe a center line in the edge here. I'm gonna put a scribe mark back here to know how far to take my plunge lines back. And then I'm gonna scribe a line in here to show how far I want the bevels to go. So we want that line here to match that center line on the blade, that perfect bevel. That's what we're after. we got this knife pretty much done. Miss Bailee wanted some jewels put in the handle, kind of randomly strung about. She had particular ones she wanted put in there. This is going to be a little tricky. It's not something I do too often. So we got 7 jewels to put in here. So one side's going to have 3, one side's going to have 4. So I'm going to work on placing those. Sorry guys, I did not have the camera on when I set the stones. My apologies. A special thank you to all my followers, and thank you for watching this video.